Are you guys awake? How many of you guys would like to have a lot more money in your lives? Thank you. And how many of you guys would like to have a lot more time to enjoy the money you make?
Yes!
Fantastic.
Oh, hey everybody, is this not a great event or what? Amazing. And we were asked, and we are so blessed to share our story about the last 19 years with Market America, talking about the power of residual ongoing income. That to me is a huge responsibility to get what we have experienced up here out of our mouths into your hearts, okay? Because I don't take this lightly. You know, our journey started when we were both 24 years old, actually. And I was raised by a single mom, and she taught me, you know, you're going to go to college. You know, you're going to get a good job, right? And I bought into that, hook, line, and sinker, and went and got my big fancy degree. And I couldn't find that perfect job and ended up leading the glamorous life as an MCI telemarketer. So 20 years ago, you're hanging up on me, and that's okay. That's actually what I did. I was so irritated at the time, this is it. And I thought, I'll work my way up, I'll climb that corporate ladder. And the week I started the corporate ladder climb was the week that I found out that I was pregnant with our son, who's 21 right now. Cole and I have 5 amazing children. The oldest is 21, the youngest just turned 14 a couple weeks ago. And I'll tell you what, sitting there at MCI, I was so irritated at the time, but there was a reason. Who here believes everything happens for a reason, right? You're here today for a reason, and I was stuck in the little bay with a guy by the name of David White. Anybody hear of David? So he came to me with this Market America business. I'm so excited. Trina, got to check this out. And being the great friend that I was, I blew him off for 7 months. I had my son went on maternity leave. I couldn't stay home with my son because of the credit card. We had $17,000 on the credit card at the time, so I didn't get the chance to stay home. I went back in the day to my job, and I was like, where did David go? What happened? And I found out he was making about $4,000 a month at the time. So I about fell out of my telemarketing chair, and I said, okay, I need to look at this. And started the Market America journey, actually. Started showing the plan, digging in the trenches, started to make a little bit of money, right? Started to make some weekly checks. And, you know, had my second daughter. And then guess what? Life is going great, right? And then, boom, life happens. My marriage was over. Anybody have some circumstances happen in your life before? Or am I the only one, right? That stunk. But what do? You push through, and thank God for residual income that I had. It wasn't that much at the time, but I had it, right? So you're pushing through, you're showing the plan, and then I picked up the phone out of my comfort zone and called this guy who bought my furniture out of the paper, and I thought he was pretty sharp, right? And God gave me Cullen, and he was the biggest go now, right? And so I'm so thankful that he's in my life and just changed my life all the way around, so.
I don't know how to go after that now. Blessed to be married to the best, right? Absolutely, guys. That's what it's all about. What do you really want in your life, and how bad do you really want it? Overcoming obstacles. I was working for a small pharmaceutical company, Bayer. Some of you guys may have heard of it at some point, but I was working in their maintenance division. I fixed things. I enjoyed working with my hands, but I was working 12 hours a day. Found out one day that my dad wasn't going to retire. At the age of 62, he took me to lunch, shared the story with me, and I was just crushed. I was devastated. I sat there and thought to myself, here's my dad working dark to dark between alarm clocks and time clocks to find out, congratulations, you get to go get another job. My dad, my parents missed probably 90% of my events growing up, and I swore that that was not going to be my kids. That wasn't going to be our kids. And in the end, that was the purpose. That was the passion. That was the fuel that drove us to go out and show this plan and make things happen. And, you know, along the way, we got a couple of photos here, but we, you know, like Jim was already talking about the Utopia. All the way back years ago, we were on the Utopia there with JR. And man, we went back and we were looking at some photos for this, and we were like, man, look at how young we look. And Trinity's like, I still look young. I use every product, right? I mean, she is on it. I'm like, you do? She's like, by the way, you can start using that eye cream, you know? And I'm like, thanks a lot, dude. But anyway, you know, here's the deal. In the beginning, In the beginning, we didn't know everything. 24 years old, a little wet behind the ears, but we had that passion. We had that purpose. We had that reason why. Why are we doing the business? What is it we really wanted to do with our lives?
And we experienced so many little magic moments, you guys. And one of our reasons why, it is our children, right? When our oldest was 11 months old, getting ready and going to work, and, he's working 12-hour shifts overnight and different things like that. Things happen. My son, who was 11 months old at the time, when you're getting ready and you're going to drop him off at the daycare, and he's crying, and you're running around, you got to get this, and okay, Brock, it's okay. It's all right, we're grabbing this, and we're going to go bye-bye, hold on, let's go, and what? He's crying a little harder. And then finally, he's crying a little harder, and I'm like, honey, it's okay, what's the matter? 11 months old, you guys, stood up in his crib, and he waves bye-bye, right? That was a defining moment for me personally, because I didn't want to miss out on those moments. I wanted to be the stay-at-home mom, right? And so we've been able to really experience that. Residual income, you guys, is blending our family together. Go back one, because I want to show this picture. Every story has a beginning, a middle, and an end, right? So that's how we started. Everybody's got a background. It ended up well, because we got residual income. But this is the middle, right? And so that top picture with Cullen in the hat, we were dazed and confused and all kinds of stuff. Blending our family, 18 months we plugged into the system, but really got to spend time with our kids. Cooper's got one sock on, one sock off. Brock's Mr. ADD looking over here, and Brent's spacing out. And we're in the trenches. But what you don't see is the phone calls that we made, right? The meetings at McDonald's Playland, the training of the kids and the sitters so we could make it to the trainings. Are you guys with me on that? The phone calls that I did for follow-ups and three-way phone calls in the closet when my kids are banging on the door and I'm trying to be professional. Guys, the people that solve the most problems win, right?
And that truly is the bottom line. The person who solves the most problems wins. See, some people want to focus on what we always refer to as the dot. They want to focus on the challenges. They want to focus on the negative. They want to focus on the fact that they got here a little bit late today and now they got a middle seat and they're not on an end seat. And now it's like, oh, it's going to ruin my whole day. Are you serious? And in the end, you say, well, if I don't want to mess with the seating, then I'm just going to sit in the front row with the $1 million earners because I'm going to hit every challenge in order to not fight for an end seat. You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to look forward to. But it takes that passion in order to make it happen. So few people lack, or so many people lack the passion from our perspective when we look at things. Matter of fact, when we say invest in tickets, when we say invest in education, we had Kay and Joe into Chicago to do a local seminar.
Awesome.
And they absolutely crushed it. And the bottom line is they're selling education. Right, guys? Yeah. Selling education. And the problem is that a lot of you are investing in some tickets, but you're losing money. And here's why I think that there's a big issue with some people is because you're not following wealth rule number 1. Warren Buffett. Never lose. Wow. You guys don't even know wealth rule number 1? Warren Buffett?
Money.
How many of you guys have ever read a book? How many of you guys know books exist? All right, fantastic. We're getting there. Warren Buffett, wealth rule number 1, never lose money. And see, the problem is everybody walks around and says, but I'm an entrepreneur, but you walk around and you're losing money left and right. You're okay with it. You got to get a little fired up and say, gosh darn it, I'm not okay with it. I'm not going to lose money. I'm going to make money, and I'm going to make my business profitable, and I'm going to do it by changing other people's lives. Over and out.
And you guys get to create your own story, right? You get to customize your own future. That's what this is about. You guys are the ones that have to live there. True or true? Right? And so again, it's just really the time freedom. See, when I worked at MCI and Colin worked for the pharmaceutical company, money controlled everything we did. Not just our time, but they told us what time you had to get up in the morning and what time you had to be at work. When you could take a lunch break, when you could go to the bathroom, right? They controlled more than that. They controlled what kind of house you have, what kind of car that you got to drive. How many of you guys know somebody living outside of the state, away from their family and friends because of a job, right? So if you get the money issue out of the way, then you can truly do what God put you on the earth to do. And that's what Colin and I wanted to do with our kids, is just lead by example and be there. That was one of my personal goals, to be the room mom. That's all I wanted to do, was be the room mom, right? And we've been able to do that for every single one of our kids. We've been able to take them to Disney World, each one of them when they turned 4 years old. That was also on the goals list. So many different things. Our home's been the hangout house. I've been the cheerleading coach. Colin's been the basketball coach for 3 out of our 5 kids. And that was one of your goals as well.
Yeah, we just wanted to be there. We wanted our kids to beg for a sitter.
And they did.
I mean, seriously, that was like one of the goals things. It's just like, I want them to beg, like, don't you got to go anywhere? Don't you got a plan to show? No, we did that a couple of years ago, and we sacrificed many years to then enjoy the residual income, right? We built the 2 to 3 year plan to hang out with the kids for a couple of years, and then we went back to work, and then we built it again for about 1.5 years, and then went director. And then we've taken some more years off and just hanging out with our kids. Isn't that what the business is all about?
Yeah.
Hello? Oh, thank you. Yeah, so that's what it's all about. Is what is your reason why? What is your passion? What do you want? And so I will say this, when we were new in the business, we had to change some of our habits. What's that word, please? Habits. Thank you. Habits. See, you don't start in business one day and say, well, I'm in business, and now I'm just in the habit of running a business. It doesn't work that way. At least for us, it didn't work that way. We had to be teachable and coachable. We had to be willing to follow the system. And that was what was so beautiful about the Market America unfranchised system. How many of you guys have read the book Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill? Yeah? Incredible book, all right? I'm going to write a new book. Don't think and grow rich, all right? Follow the unfranchised, all right? Follow the unfranchised, because see, people are thinking too much. You got to combine it. You got to take the thinking out of it. Because another quote by Warren Buffett, okay? The chains of habit are too light to be felt until they're too heavy to be broken. And that's really what it boils down to in life, see? These little habits of I'll do it tomorrow that turn into I'll do it tomorrow that turn into you never do it. And that was all that we had, was consistency and going out and showing the plan when other people weren't willing to show the plan. Linking arms with our teammates. Linking arms with people that wanted to run with us. People like Roxanne Reed, who wanted to run with us and said, let's make this happen together. Because why? Environment is stronger than willpower. And so therefore, if you stay in the same environment, but you're expecting a different result, it's not going to happen. So what do you have to do? You have to put yourself in the environment on that freeway of great things to happen by linking arms with all of us in order to succeed. In order to give you the belief, in order to give us the belief at 24 years old that we can make it happen. And that's what it boils down to.
Absolutely. And you guys, we used to see people up on the stage like us, and for me, I was all like, oh, you know, things are always perfect, right? Like their kids don't argue, their lawn's perfectly manicured. Well, Colin's is.
It is.
It is. You never run out of milk, right? And no, we're all human, right? We all got stuff. And so through the highs and the lows, Market America has paid us every single week, no matter what was going on. 2 to 3 year plan, we've never, ever missed a check, ever. And through the stresses of life, and I would love to tell you, oh, don't worry about it, nothing ever is going to happen if you're a Market America franchise owner. I would love to tell that to you. But you know what? This gives you the time freedom to deal with those things. You guys get that, right? And people like Roxanne, Colin just mentioned, you know, Roxanne, if you don't know Roxanne, she's got the biggest heart for this company. She's going to hit national within a year. I know she is. And, you know, her husband passed from a massive heart attack at a very young age of 51. She had 2 daughters in college. She didn't have to worry about yanking them out. She didn't have to worry about her house payment. Ask her if she believes in residual income. Ask Melanie Nelson if she believes in residual income when her husband was still getting paid when he was in a coma. That's the power of residual income. Do you guys get this? You can build this to your children. Why wouldn't you build this? If you guys truly believed and understood what we've experienced with this company, that it pays you ongoing for the rest of your life and your grandkids' lives, you do whatever you needed to do to get it done. Do you get that? That saying is true. If you really understood residual income, you would walk through a brick wall to get it.
Yes!
Go out there and make it happen and create your own story.
You guys, the key is urgency. Urgency is the key. And having fun. So if you take urgency and fun, as a matter of fact, if you go back and watch our blooper tape from back in the day, again, we joke about this, and I'm sure everybody's got a blooper tape, but I mean, if we could go back and like videotape, now you videotape everything. Everything's caught on tape today. But if you have caught all of our stuff back in the day on tape, or on video, or MP3, whatever we're going to call it today, but MP4. If you watched it back today, you would be like, oh my gosh, we are going to be huge with this company, because that was a disaster. That does not happen. I mean, seriously. But we were consistent, we had a passion, we leveraged our reason why, which was our kids. We wanted to get, I mean, how many of you guys have kids, yes? How many of you guys want to be home with those kids? How many of you guys just want to get away from the kids sometimes? Yeah, so you have the flexibility to do both. Isn't that a beautiful thing with this business? You get to do what you want to do. And guys, all we can encourage you guys on in the end is, again, in this business, you have to be two people at once. Kind of. You got to be a tiger. Tigers work very independently, and so you got to be a tiger sometimes. You got to pick up the phone. You got to make the calls. You got to work in and be disciplined with yourself. You got to read your goal statement, listen to the audios, but you also have to be a lion. Lions running the pack. Lions running the pack, and we don't leave teammates behind. And that's one thing I love about MarketAmericaShop.com is we don't leave anybody behind. You get left behind. It's your choice to get left behind. We're going to link arms with you. We're going to run with you, and we're going to make it happen with you. So should I end, or are you going to end?
You can end, baby.
Okay, good, because I'm rolling. So my homework assignment for each one of you is to link arms with people and make this weekend your line in the sand to say enough is enough. I'm going to link arms with other people. I'm going to use the environment and the passion, the excitement, and put myself on the freeway of great things that happen with other people in order to accelerate my earning until I believe more in myself that I know I can make this happen. Lion and a tiger coupled together, you can't lose. Thank you guys. God bless you.